Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Victor, the analyst, and I'll be a walking us through a data set we want to work on, and this is our problem statement. In that data set is like a technology company. They have this attrition rate of 30%. And let me read the problem statement. The problem statement go like this: that is, Samtech is facing a challenge with its attrition rate at 30%, exceeding the industry standard of 5%, significantly impacting human resources departments and all employees. The attrition rate diminishes moral, productivity, and organizational performance, while also increasing recruitment and training costs and disrupting workflow. However, by reducing the attrition rate to 5%, the company can expect improved employee retention, enhanced job satisfaction, and increased organizational stability, resulting in higher productivity and reduced turnover costs and more positive work culture, ultimately aligning with the industry standard and ensuring greater overall success. Now, this is our problem statement. This is the problem we really want to actually solve. We want to look at a way of reducing this 30%, which the company say they have, to like 5%. And in having this our problem statement, we go to our objective. The next is objective. Objective is like what do you want to do, like what is your blueprint, what do you want to actually do to be able to like answer your problem statement. First of all, we have it like analyze history data to historical data to understand what contributes to the high attrition rates by analyzing a diverse range of human resources data variable, including demographics like age range, gender, departments, years of service range, performance range, satisfaction range, and we have the salary range. So this is the first process we'll first do. We want to do analysis on how to get what's it called? You get the attrition by age range, attrition by gender, attrition by department, attrition by years of service, and so on and so forth. So for us to know what was going on in the past and what might have actually contributed to the high attrition rate. And the next objective is the assess data quality and reliability. This has to do with the EDA, that is exploratory data analysis, just to check if the data we are working on, if it has the right data type, if it is complete, if the data can actually answer our question. Because right now we want to work on a what's it called, an attrition rate. Like the HR data has to do with attrition rate. If we don't have a column that has attrition, which is yes or no, if the employee is in the company or not, definitely we will say that the data is not actually complete. And probably if we don't have our gender too as well, because in this our objective we want to look for attrition rates based on gender. If gender is not there, definitely the data is not complete. When we talk about timeliness, we can talk about currency. Is it current? That's it. So we now move to the third one. That's the third step, the third team parts that we really want to do in our objective. It has to do with the applied advanced analytical techniques. That is the employee sophisticated. Then we are dealing with descriptive statistics. This has to do like mean, average, and we have to do like mean, average to know and to check for patterns in the data. Yeah, this is for us to like get insights what is going on. So the first one is we will try to, like, after we've done our dashboard, we'll try to get our insights and try to like do inform a strategic decision on what to do. And these are what the knowledge on like let me say insight is just like the knowledge you have on your dashboard, like on your analysis. What are the things you find that are actually captivating, that are actually really pointing to be able to like solve your problem statement. So that is what they call insights. This is the part where we'll do that. And the last one has to be with the recommendation. No, now we've gotten the insights. We've actually know what was going on in the past, and I really dig deep and I really drill deep into the data and see, okay, this is what's actually going on, this is what's actually going on. So as a data analyst, it is our duty for us to give a recommendation to the company, like, okay, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do, and so as to like um fill up those gaps, and so that you can achieve and answer that problem statement, that solve that problem statement that we actually the company actually gave to us. And the last one should be like conclusion. So this was in a nutshell, this is what we actually going to be doing in this analysis. So now without wasting our time, let's go to Excel. So starts our um, analysis, and I will drop the link to this in data in the description so we can all download it. So I would go to blank workbook. Mind you, this data was generated by Python. I actually use Python to generate the data. It's not a real data, but we can actually assume it as a real data, because the same way we're going to analyze data, the same way you're going to analyze a real live data. So now let's go to data on our tab. Okay, let me explain this. This is in Excel. We have the tab, we have the ribbon. So if we click on home, this is the home tab, and this is the ribbon section. It goes with insert, goes with draw. So all this tab actually has what it do. And this is this worksheet, work area. This is a cell. A cell is where a column and a row meet together. That's what they call cell. So I really don't want to dwell on this. Let's just move forward and go to. I would like to bring in my data. So I'll go to data, then I'll go to get data, and I'll go to from files, and I'll go to from Excel workbook. Sorry about that. This might be taking long. So now we here. I actually have my data in the desktop. So I'll go to skill ahead portfolio, and I'll click on I'll double click on it. Then I'll go to class material. Then I'll go to attrition weekend. Yeah, this is the data. Then I'll click on import. So this will automatically take me to Power Query. So right now it's trying to connect. So this process that we're trying to do is called ETL. That is called the extract, transform, and load. So we already extracted our data. So what do we mean by extracting our data? It's like a way we are mirroring our data to our Power Query for us to transform the data, like cleaning the data. If there's any blanks, if there's any um, non-data, like non-value that we want to remove, this is where we have to just click any button and we'll get to do it. So now I'll click on the attrition data. Is going to preview over here. So we have it here, and I'll click on in. If the data is clean, you can actually click on load. So it's going to load to Excel. But in our own case, the data, we can see that we have null value here, and we see that the column 1, it's actually having column 1 as the header, and which is not supposed to be so. So we're going to, the data is dirty. Yes, let's say that it's dirty. So we click on transform data. So, yeah, this has brought us to Power Query. So, Power Query is a tool for transforming your data. Is a tool for like cleaning your data. Like back in those days, if you want to, most of the things that we're doing here is something that you have to do in Excel. But um, as time goes on, Excel actually brought in Power Query to be able to like make the work very easy. That when you click on a button, it's just going to do your work for you. Now, this our data is dirty, like I said, because we can see our non-value is there, non-value is there, and so let's start cleaning. Though before we clean, I would like to talk about few parts in our Power Query. Now, this is our file tab, this is our home tab, and this is our transform tab. This is our arch column tab, and this is our view tab, and this is the ribbon section. So any tab you click, the ribbon section actually change according to the tab you click. So now we have the properties. The properties entails the name of the data. Like if I want to change the name of this data, I can just come here and select and click it and change the name if I want to change it. So this apply step, like any step that I make, any step that I do in my Power Query, it's actually gonna show here. So it's something that I can just come here and delete it. So Power Query, there's no Ctrl Z in Power Query. So you just come here and delete this step, and it will take you back to the previous steps. So now the first thing we're going to do is we want to remove this null value. So we'll go to our home. Um, oh, this thing is highlighted, so let's click here. So we go to our home. So we're going to, we say remove and top rows. We click on this. So let's count this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. So say we want to remove top 6. Then click on OK. Oh, sorry. Let me cancel this stuff. I actually went to go and pick the wrong stuff. I say remove top rows. Yeah. It's asking me for a number of rows. I will say 6 and I'll say 3. Okay. So this has removed the top rows, leaving me with my um, header. But you can see that our header is still in our data. So there's this process we need to do to like promote it to be here. So we go to, inside our home tab, we'll go to the use first row as header. We click on the drop down and we say click use first row as header. Then we'll click on that. So this has promotes our to the first row as header. So I would like to explain this to us. Let me first uncheck this. Um, Now let me see if we are done with our cleaning. Okay. So there's this thing that we need to do when it comes to like in text. There are some times whereby you have a space in front of all those data. So like let's take a look at this. Let's look at gender. Actually, gender we have female and male. Yeah, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with data. Let's check on department. we can see department has two: marketing. They actually mean the same thing, but there is space in the front of one of the marketing. That's why it's coming at us as two. And you can see EN, which is engineering, has space in the um, in one of the letter. So there's something we need to do. We actually need to remove the space. Before we go into removing of the space, like trimming of the space, I would like to show us something in this view. This view has a way of telling you like the characteristics of what's going on in your, like it tells you what's actually going on in each column. Like it gives you the distribution, the profiling. Like take for example now, I want to know what this column is entails. This is where I go to the view. I'll check the column distribution. This column distribution is like let me explain this. This 100 distinct, it means that there is 100, I mean 1000 distinct, I mean there is 1000 distinct value. You understand? And there's a unique value of 1000. It means that this unique means that there was no duplicate. There is no duplicate in this column. So everything is unique. There's actually no duplicates. No 1000 um, data and 1000 unique, which means that there's no duplicates. Same with this. Let's check. No, this one is different. Like this is 43 distinct. 43 distinct means that there is 43 data points. That's why 43 data here, but they there is no unique value. What I mean by there is no unique value is that there is no value that has that just one that is just unique. Every data in that column repeated itself. So that was what this column is telling us. And goes with this to 202 means that there's two data, but there's no unique value in the sense that everything repeated itself. Male and female repeated itself several times. But in this our case here, there's seven distinct and there is one unique. It means that there is one value that actually stands out different and it did not repeat itself in the data. So just like that. I will not have time to go for all the rest, but at least that with this few explanation, you can actually interpret what is actually going on in each um, column. So if I click on column profile and I click this column profile, let me click on age. So what does column profile does? It actually gives you the frequency of like each value, each data. So what we have in here is telling you that 57 is the highest in the, like 57 is like the age of 57 are the highest number of people working in the organization. That is, they have more of like older people in the organization compared to like the younger ones. That is 50, 54. I didn't say 57, 54. Now let's go to the gender. So in this case, when you're looking at this, you would in one way know that okay, yeah, in a nutshell, this is just like EDA, like a exploratory data analysis, that you're really knowing what is going on in data. It's telling you the characteristics of what is actually going on in each column. It goes by and the gender as well. The gender is a male and a female. The gender has an high, um, the male is higher than the female. It means that in the population, we have a higher number of male working in the organization compared to number of female working in the organization. And the departments. Now look at the departments. Look at what we say. This one actually has a EN actually has a very low value here, and this en here has a very, very high frequency here. So we can see that this en is the en that has the space in front of it. So we actually need to correct this. So we'll correct that in a short time. So same goes with the rest. So now let's start doing our other form of transforming our data. We will trim. Yeah, let me trim this one too. The first one, though there's nothing here, but we still just need to trim any data that has text. But you need to check it. There are some. Then how do I know a data has text? Now I would actually come back to this and talk about the data type first before I start trimming. I go back to trimming again. You know, in Power Query, there's 3 parts in the column of there's 3 parts in the column. We have the data type, we have the column name, and we have the filter. The data type, the column name, and the filter. So um, what this one tells you is that this 1 to 3 tells you that the data type of this employee ID is a numeric number. That is why you have it as 1 to 3. But if you um, this our employee ID is our what is it called? Is our primary key. Yeah. Reason why I know is our primary key. Number one, it has a unique value representing each employee, and it doesn't repeat itself. It's a unique identity identifier. So when you have a primary key in your data set, they must always be in text and not in number, because when you have them in number, you take them to Excel. Excel will always want to like run calculations on them, and we don't want that to happen. So we change this to text. Then we'll come down to the age. The data type of age, yes, we all agree it has to be a number. That is 1, 2, 3. The gender, we have it like text too as well. Is correct. So since it's text, I think we've trimmed this before, so we'll leave it as that. And the department has to be in text. So let me check if we've actually trimmed this. Yeah, we've trimmed this. You can see you've stopped seeing that en ever since we trim it, because we've been able to like remove that space in front of the en, and I think it's what we have 1 2 here. The marketing was showing like a 2 value, so I think we'll be able to solve this. Then we move to the next. um Let me see. Then we'll go to year of service. In a year of service, we have it like this is the year at which the employee has worked, and yes, it has to be a number. It has to be a number. This is not a date, so we leave it as number. Then we check. We can actually click on the filter to know the highest and the minimum and the maximum um, years of service. You see that like 29 is the highest. So now let's go to the performance rating. Performance rating here, it has to be a number. Satisfaction score has to be a number. Salary, we change that to currency. We change it to currency. Then this attrition, we don't want it to be 0 and 1. We actually want it to be yes and no. So that is what we have to do. We're going to change this first. Change this to a text. If not, it's not going to work. So we change it to text. Then we right click on this, then we say replace value, we change it to EX, and click, no, that should be no, 0 should be no, then we click on OK. The one, then we click on replace value, then we click on yes, then we click on OK. So now let's start doing like conditional formatting. But before we do that, I want us to trim this um, data here, because the finance, there's this data visuals we want to use, and we don't want this thing to come as full. We want to abbreviate them, like finance will be FN, um, marketing will be MK. So let's get back to work. We say right click here, and say replace value, and would change this to FN, and click on OK. So right click on the operations, then click on replace value, then click on open, then click on OK, then right click on the marketing, say replace value, then click on MK, I'll click on OK. So now we've been able to replace those values. Like whenever we see marketing, is going to be like MK. So back to our objective, we said back to our objective, we said we want to analyze historical data to understand what contributes to the high attrition rate by analyzing a diverse range of human resources data variable, including demography like age range. Age range means that we're going to group our age into different groups. Um, we have our gender already, we have our department already. This years of service too, we're going to group that too. And performance range, we're going to group that too. And satisfaction range and salary range. So these are 1, 2, 3, 3, and 4. Like we're going to do a conditional formatting. Now let's go back to our Excel. We see the first one we're going to do our conditional formatting on will be on our give me a minute, let me check something. It's going to be our age. Now let's check our age. Our age actually starts from 22 down to 64. Then cancel this. Then we say go to add column. Then we say conditional column. So a tab is going to show. So it's going to ask us for the first thing that is going to ask us is going to ask us like new column name. Once you click on add column, any operation you do on this add column is going to show on the new column. So now the new column that wants to show, we don't want it to show custom. We want it to have our own name. You're going to make it like age range. Then we'll change. So you say if column name, operator value, and output. So what this thing is saying, I know a lot of us, if you're really familiar with Python, I'm not sure we should be having issue with this, or probably if you've worked with if function in Azure, that is DAX, I'm not sure you should be having issue with this. Or let's say count if, yeah, let's say if age, that is from the column, age which is from the column, is less than equals to, and the value less than equals to what? Say 13. So what is not saying is that if this value here or this value here, like any value inside this age, if it's less than or equals to 13, so what it's saying is that any value lesser than 30 or equals to 13, this is what you should actually have in the front of them. Like this is what you should actually not represent them. There's going to be in the front of it, that you should have it like um, from 22 to 28. That's the age range. So click on add. We change the age. We change it to less than equals to. Then we change this to 14. We see this one is going to be 13. Let's do it as 13. Or it's like the next one, 31 to 14. Check on this like age. You see less than equals to. Then the next one gonna be 15. Then we change this to 41 to 15. I think the last one is let me see. Okay, add one more close to it again. Then we do age less than equals to. Then we have it like 16, and I have it like 51 to 51 to 16, and the rest will be from 61 to 64. So this is just gonna be like a frequency, like at this this age, once anything is lesser than this, just show this to represent it. Like any figure in between 22 to 30, this what should be in the front of it. Any figure in between 31 to 40, this is what should be in front of it. Then we click on OK. So if all these requirements are meant already, then anything that outside these requirements, then you put this one in front of them. Then we click on OK. So it's gonna form over here. So now we would go to the next conditional column on satisfaction score and performance rating, then years of service. So we go to our column, conditional column. Then we'll go to years of service. So we see YOS range. Then we change this to years of service. Then we see less than equals to. Then we'll have it like the value will be 5. Then we'll output to be 1 to 5. Age, yes, 1 to 5 years of service. So I'll actually have it like let me pick it at H3. So what does this tell you? It's just the same way we have it in the other conditional column we just did it a while ago. So you're saying that if we have this column, any column, there's any data inside this column that is lesser or equals to 5, That means it's entry level. That's your service is less than, yes, from 5 below the entry level. Then we'll click on this again. Then we'll say years of service. Then we'll say less than equals to. Then we'll have it like 10. That will be like junior. I'll click on one again. Here's the service. You say 15. Then I'll have it like senior. Then last one we have experts. Then when we click on OK. So finally done on that conditional column formatting. So now let's go ahead to do our salary. We've done the one for um, years of service, the range. So now we want to do for salary range. We want to do a conditional format. So we'll try as much as possible to put them into different like equal distribution. So now we'll go to add column, go to conditional column. So I have this as salary range. So our column name will be salary. So we put it at less than or equals to, then our value will be 50. So say from 30 to 50k. So what this one says is that in our salary, anything that's less than or equals to 50,000, output 50 to 30 to 50k. Then we'll add another clause. We'll go to salary, another conditional formatting, less than or equals to. Then we'll have this like 17, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll say 50 to 70k. Then we'll add salary is less than equals to, then we'll say 90, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll say 70 to 90k. Now add another column. We'll have it like salary less than equals to, then we'll have it like 1, let's make it 110, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be like 90 to 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 k. And I'll say else 120 k. No, let's make it as 1, 1, 0 k, 102 this. Okay, that is good. We can click on OK. So now we've formatted our salary, like anything that falls in between the range of 50 to 7, and I look at this now, this is 60,000. It falls in between the range of 50 to 70. Look at this, 100k, this falls in between this value. So I will change our data type to text. It's going to be text because it's going to be a categorical data. We change this years of salary range to text too as well. We change our age range to text. So the next conditional column we actually want to do, we want to do for the performance rating and the satisfaction score. Like we want to grade them, like if it's and we have like, let me see, we have 1 to 5 here. So we want to grade like 1 should be very bad, 2 will be bad, 3 will be fair, and 4 will be good, and 5 will be excellent. So for us to achieve that, we'll still do a conditional column. We click on conditional column. We have it like performance. Let's do performance. Is it performance? Let's see, satisfaction score. So it's going to be satisfaction rating, satisfaction range, satisfaction range. So this will be satisfaction score less than equals to, don't put this as no, let's make it equals to, because we're not trying to get a different range of number. We just want to set it equals to 1, and that will be, it give us like 1 will be very bad. Add another close, satisfaction score, or leave it as equals to, this one be 2, 2 will be bad. Satisfaction score, 3 will be fair. Add satisfaction score, 4 will be good, and the else, which is does not cover the, or this, if any of this condition is not met, anything that falls under that column should be excellent. Excellent. Then we have it like this. Then go to OK. Click on OK. So is that. So the next one we want to work on is we want to work on our performance rating. The same process, we go to conditional column. Then we would have this as satisfaction range, satisfaction score. Why is this giving me issue? Have I actually done something like this? I think it's performance. Let me see, performance range. I think I must have done that before. Let me go to performance rating equals to, yeah, equals to 1 will be bad. Let me see, very bad, very like very bad. Then our performance rating to bad, performance rating 3 will be fair, performance rating 4 will be good. Let's drag this one up. Then else, all these conditional meant will make it excellent. So that means it's indirectly we are telling that if there is the 5 should be excellent because we have 1 to 5 here. So all these conditions will be met. Like when it is 1, it gives us very bad. When it is 2, it gives us bad. And when it is 4, it gives us good. So 5 will be the left um, conditions that does if we have is the less data that doesn't meet these 4 conditions. So it's gonna be take up this excellent. Then we'll click on OK. So we change the data type to text. We change the data type to text as well. So this that. Now we want to go to let's check if there's anything that we need to fix up. Let's check. Okay, good. I think we are done with our cleaning. Now we've done our uh, extract, we've done our transform, we've actually shaped our data in a way that we can use it to answer our problem statement. Now we want to load it to Excel. Now, loading to the Excel is the tools whereby we are going to do our analysis. So here, what we just did here was just to transform our data, to clean our data, to remove every unwanted columns and things that are not needed in our analysis, and to actually transform the data, like adding 1 or 2 data, doing some conditional formatting. So for you to take it to Excel, we go to click on Home, we go to this Close and Load option, you click on the drop down, then we'll click on the Close and Load. So now this will bring us to Excel. This is where we are going to be answering our questions. So we would have to go back to now. This is all the cleaning we've done in Power Query. It has brought it to Excel. So what we're going to do is we would okay, yeah, has already been done. This sheet 1 we have to delete it. Let's delete it. We don't need it in our sheets to be showing. We'll delete it. So now let's go back to our objective. Let's see what we want to do. We say we want to analyze historical data to understand the country. So it's saying we want to do attrition by age range. So now we do attrition by age range, by gender, by department, by year of service range, and performing rates and stuff like that. So let's do the one for age range. Let's come here. So for us to what's it called? For us to actually get the attrition by age range, we need to model our data. When I mean model our data, there are 2 types of modeling. You can model your data whereby you link 2 cells, 2 sheets, worksheets together. So when you link them together, you can use it to answer your problem. And you can actually get a sheet. Another modeling can actually be whereby you get a subset of your data in your sheet. And what we used to do that is Power Pivot. In the other, is a pivot table, sorry, to get your subsets of your data. like in this sheet, to be able to answer your question is pivot table. But to be able to link from two sheets, like linking two sheets together. Let's say, for example, we have one sheet 1 year and we have another sheet 2 year, and you want to link them together using a primary key, you're going to use a power pivot. But in this our case, we are just working with only just one sheet. So we are just working as we're working with only just one sheet, we will just be using the subset of this data. And most of the tools, as in the tools we are mostly going to be using here, it is pow- um power pivot table. Yeah, pivot table. This is it. You click on any point in your data point, you go to pivot table. These are the tools we're going to use to remodel our data to be able to um, get a subset of our data to be able to answer that question. So now we'll go to from table stroke range, then we'll click on add this to the data model, then we'll click on OK. Sorry, my system is hanging, it's going to take some time. So now we've come up to um, we've created a pivot table. In this our pivot table, this is where I said before, like we would remodel, we would reshape our data, like in the subset, like we would drag out, like take for example now when I bring out my age range, which is the first question, I bring it to the row. That means I have actually brought out my data, like has to be like remodel it in a sense that anything just have to do with age range, that's what you just have to bring for me. So that's the work of a pivot table, like getting the subsets from your data to be able to answer your question. So now we want to get the attrition by age range. So we'll go to attrition data and we'll bring in our employment ID. So this has given us, this is a count ID. This has given us the number of people that is the retention rate and both the attrition rate together here. So if we want to know actually the people that left the company, we need to filter. So we go to the attrition, we drag it into filters. So we come here, we click on the drop down, we check the multiple, we click on the plus sign, we uncheck this, we say okay. So what is it saying? It's saying that um, these people live the most, followed by these people, like from this range, from 22 to 30, they're actually having the highest number of attrition rates. From 31 to 40, 69, from 41 to 50, 74, from 51 to 60, 72. Let me sort uh, to have a better view of what's going on. So the highest number of people leaving the organization is from 41 to 50 years group. They are the one leaving the company the most, and followed by 51 to 60, and the next is 22 to 30. That the people leaving the organization, while the list is 61 to 64. Though I could picture it like probably the distribution of this is not really that much because we have like just 4 data points here, whereas here we have like 10. This other place we have 10. This is 8. This is 10, 10. So that could account for this one having a low number. So let's move forward. Um, so we've gotten, let's rename this to attrition by age range. attrition by age range. I'll click on enter, and I'll change this to tab color. I'll change this to any color I want. So let's go back to our objective. Let's see what next we want to do. Attrition by gender. Okay, we'll go back to our data. We click on any point in our data set. Then we'll go to insert. Then we'll go to the pivot table drop down. We click on it. Then we'll click on from table stroke range. So I will check this and I'll click on OK. So I'll bring in my employment ID and I'll go to my gender. Remember, my gender is a categorical data, and I'll bring it to my row. So what this figures is telling me is telling me these are the figures of people that actually, that is the people that left and people that are staying in the company. So I need to filter like the way I filtered the other time. So we can actually do it in two places. Where's my attrition? I can actually do it in two places. I can put my attrition in my column. This will give me the number of people that have left and number of people inside staying in the organization. I can actually bring it down to the filter, whichever one. So, but although I prefer filter because I'm actually really concerned about people that have left the company. I'm not really concerned about people that are still working in the company. So that's why I had to do this like filter. I want to drill down to know people that are actually in the organization, that actually left the organization. Sorry. Then I'll click on select multiple. I'll check this and I'll check no and I'll say okay. So these are people that has actually left the organization. So realize that male are more than female that actually left the organization. So we rename this to attrition by gender. You see tab color, choose any color we want. Now I'm back to my attrition data sets. So let me go back to my objective. We want to actually get um, what's it called? Attrition by department. Let's go back to this. Attrition by department. We go to the employment ID, drag it to values. So this has counts the number of people, that is the number of workers in the organization. Then I will go to um, what's it called? By gender, is it by gender department here? So then I'll filter. Then I'll bring it down to the filter. Click on the drop down, check. Click on the plus sign. I'll click on OK. Then I'll sort. Okay, so let's move forward. Then let's rename this attrition by department. Tab color, choose any color I want. Then I'll go to insert. Let me see. Attrition by department and years of service range. Years of service range. Years of service range. I'll check this. I'll say okay. Implement ID to the value. Years of service range. Then I'll go to my attrition. And I'll bring it down to my filters. And I'll click on the drop down. Check multiple. The drop down. Uncheck this. Click on OK. Oh, I need to go back to Power Query to edit this. This is supposed to be experts. So there's a problem here. If your experts are actually leaving your company, definitely it calls for you to like, what is going on? Why were your experts, people that you've trained for years, they're actually leaving your company? So this is where we figure out that there's a really big problem they really need to tackle. So let's rename these doors attrition by URS range. Tab color, change it to green. So now we want to do attrition by performance range and attrition by satisfaction range. Performance range. So we'll go to our data sets. We go to insects. We go to pivot table. Go to from table stroke range. We check this. I'll say OK. Implement ID. And actually, so if you're wondering how all these things work, I actually have a video on how to create a pivot table. You can go back there and actually watch that, because okay, but I would just give a brief discussion on what this four things does. This is the value. This is where you do your aggregation. Like your arithmetic is where you do where you do your arithmetic. It's in the value, that's where you do your arithmetic. The rows slice the data in the row contents that is in the row as is, and the column where you for these two values you have here, these two fields you have here, they are this row has contain a categorical data. This one it has to be a categorical data, but this value here has to be a numerical data, and sometimes can be a categorical data whereby they can do the aggregate of like counts, distance counts, yeah, and filter helps you to filter what is going on in these places in respect to what you have here. Like take for example now, like you I'm filtering now, I have my like step take for example now, I'm looking for attrition by performance range. So I'll come here, performance range. I put my performance range in my rows. So this is going to give me actual the attrition and people that are retention rates. Yeah. So I would go to my attrition and bring it down to the filters. So what I'm trying to do is I want to filter these two. I want to filter it out. Like I want to filter based on um yes and no. So if I click on check the no, I'll leave it as yes. So it's going to give me the data that are only people that have left the company. So I'll click on OK. So that's what these three things actually does. So I think I will extend the column. Yeah. So let me sort this. I'll sort this from largest to smallest. So the performance rating good. People are actually leaving. They have good performance rating, but they are leaving. Could be probably the company are not really compensating them for what they are giving more to the company, and in the same instance, they are not really getting paid for what they are done. You can actually work in an organization and you're not really getting you're giving to the company and the company is not actually compensating you, like something like incentive, like gratitude and stuff like that. um Let me rename this to attrition by performance range. Click on enter and I'll change the tab color. I'll make it let me make it another color. I'll make it this. So let's move to satisfaction range. Yeah. So create another pivot table. Go to insert pivot table. Check this. Click on OK. Let's count the number of workers. Bring this to values. Satisfaction range. Yeah, to row. Then we filter. Let's filter. Let's filter by attrition. Take my attrition down to a filter. Um, check plus. I'll check this and say OK. So I'm gonna sort largest to smallest. So what is this saying? In a satisfaction range, uh, people that are not really satisfied in the business, in the organization, are actually leaving the most. People that their satisfaction rate is good, they are really satisfied with the business. Have less, they are the least people that are leaving the company. But people that have like very bad, and fair, these are the people that are leaving the company because probably they might be complaining about the condition of how they are being treated. So this attrition by um, attrition by satisfaction range. Don't click on enter. Change this to tab color. I change this to something different. So now let's check what next we need to do. Salary range, which is the last one. Then we'll move to KPIs. And let me add this. Think we need to add and KPI as well. KPI. Put in brackets. KPI should be like our attrition rate, retention rate, retention rate, and what again? Total number of workers. Okay, as time goes on, we actually come back to fix this up. Okay, average salary, and we have it like, let's get average performance rating. And average satisfaction score. Satisfaction score. So I think this will do. So these are the KPIs we're gonna be bringing in. That's our primary KPI. So we are left with a salary attrition by salary range. So let's go back to Azure. We click on insert pivot table from range to table. Then we'll click on add this to data. We'll click on OK. Employment ID, yeah. Then we have it like attrition, no, salary range. We drag it to the row. Then we have attrition down to the filter. Like I said, we're really just concerned about the attrition, people that have left the company. So let's sort this from largest to smallest. Wow. So people that earn from 70k to 90k are leaving, from 90k to 110k. Actually, the highest people leaving, and the list is people that are earning from 110k to 120k. So attrition by salary range. So I'll change this to this color. So now we are left with our KPIs. Let's start bringing in our KPIs. I would click on insert. I'll click on run table stroke range, and I'll click on add this to data model. I'll click on OK. So now we want to start building our KPI. We say the first one is attrition rate. So now for us to get our attrition rate, we need to do something. Let's bring in our total number of workers. Then we'll go to attrition, bring it down to the row. So this has given us the actual number of people that are still in the organization and people that have left. Normal, most of the time, people used to do this. What is it called? You do show value as um, column total, but I really don't encourage that. I really don't encourage that because I, if you bring in your slicer and you have it like you click on, let me bring in my slicer, let me show what is going to happen. So if I bring in my, I'm bringing attrition, I click on OK. So if I click on no, see what's going to happen. It's going to show us 100%. It's not giving us the actual value that's what's supposed to be. So let's clear this. There's a better way to go about this. We would have to do something. So there's a better way to go about it. What we need to do is we need to calculate it ourselves, and for us to calculate it ourselves, we say that we want to get the percentage of the no. It is let me do this as the calculation which will be like no calculation. So the calculation is always going to be this this figure no divided by the total number of this, which is 1000. And you want to get the percentage of yes, is going to 303 divided by the 1000. So for us to actually calculate this ourselves, we do something called um we do something called new calculated measures. In your pivots table, we right click here, this thing that look like box, right click on it, then we'll click on add measure. So we're going to name our measure name total remove filter. So what does this measure does? This measure has a way of like when you click on the filter, it actually tells it that don't apply this filter to what I'm trying to do. So for for clarity, I'm going to write the DAX formula for that. I'll say calculate space and I'll say count employment ID. Like okay, help me to count the employment ID and I'll give it comma. Then it's asking for a filter. Based do this expression for me based on what filter, and I'll say all tab or I'll say down here. Now I choose number. I'll come here, choose this, and I will click on this. Close the bracket. So now what have I done? I'll say that calculate this, that's count this employment ID for me, then remove the filter on this column. Whereby if I bring in my filter for this, like you should help me um if I bring in my filter that I want to slice by yes and no, it actually gives me 1000. It does not apply the filter. You understand? So I would click on this drop down. I'll say I want percentage. Since I've clicked on number, then I'll click on OK. So the measure has been created. So let me put this and see in the value and let's see what's going on. So now we have like, oh sorry, let me edit this. It shouldn't be in percentage. It should be like number. So I have it like a whole number. This should be in whole number. I click on OK. So now this is 1000. You see what happened? So now if I click on no, I'm still having 1000 here. The filter does not apply to the um to the field, to the value. Then let me cancel this. So now we've gotten this 1000. We want to now get the this one, this value that was here before, to divide this. So we'll create another new measure. We say add measure. We say count of employment ID divided by um count of employment. Let's change this to number. I say divided by um what is it called, percentage. Remove filter, and I click on this, double click on this. Then I'll name it. Let me check the DAX. It's correct. Let me check. Name the DAX as percentage of attrition. So now I'll change this to percentage, and I'll change this to OK. So down here, let's bring it down here. So what do we have? So we have 70 and we have 30. So if I let me click on no, let's see what's going to happen. See, if I click on no, my 70% is still showing for the no, whereas this one we have it as 100. If I click on yes, 30% is still showing. So it's still giving us the actual value. You understand? So in when using this show value as row as column percentage, I think what SZ did was just for you to just like visualize it, not for you to make it as your analysis. Because if you're doing it in your analysis and maybe probably you bring in your slides that will have to do with yes and no, and you clicked on it, you'll be getting a wrong value because you will not be getting the actual value again. You'll be getting it in the aspect of like all of them. So we need to like do it this proper way. So now let's actually tidy this up. Let's remove the remove filter. We don't need that there. Let's remove the percent. Um, let's remove this. We don't need that there. This is what we need. The calculated percentage of attrition we calculated. So now we want to get in average. Let's copy this. Like we said, this is going to be our KPI. We'll copy this. We say Control C. We come down here. Make sure you keep like column, two row. Make sure you keep like space, like the way I keep my space in my own, and Control V here. So I'll click on escape button to make that line stop showing. Then I want to get for my total workers working in the organization. I'll remove this. I'll remove this. So now we have this. So I'll bring in total employment ID, employee ID. So these are my total number of active workers, and I want to get average salary. I'll bring in my salary. I'll bring it down to the values, which have it as sum. I'll change it the aggregate to average. I'll click on OK. So this is our average salary that the company is paying. So I want to do average satisfaction score. I'll bring my average down to the value. I would then change fit setting. I'll say average. I'll click on OK. Um, percentage rating. I'll click on this. I'll change it to average. I'll click on OK. Yeah, think we're going to need age. Let's know at least the average number of people working, average age of people working in the organization. Let's change this to average and click on OK. So on the average, we have older people working in the organization compared to the younger people working there. So definitely on an average, 43 years of people, 43 years old, actually working in the organization. So now this values we are getting here is for both the yes and the no. So we need to filter out for us to know for the only the yes. So we would copy this. We say Control C. We come down here. We say Control V. We click on Escape for this lines to stop showing. Click on Escape on your keyboard. Then we would bring in. Make sure you are highlighted. You are highlighting this pivot table here. So you go to your attrition. You drag it to the filters. Then you click on the all. You click on this, uncheck this, and click on OK. So now this has given us the number of people that are actually working in the these are number of people that actually left the organization. This is their this is their actually average satisfaction score. I feel like there's no really difference among the two. There's no difference among the two. Yeah. So there's no significant difference among the two. Or is it what I'm saying? Yes, there's no difference among the two. Oh, there's difference. It's just that it actually, what I'm doing here is actually affecting this one too as well. So, um, though we are mainly concerned about this, this is what we're going to do. Um, okay, let's do this. Doing Control Z. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, let me actually leave this as yes and no. Okay, I'll do something. I would actually create, I'll click on delete. Let me go and create my KPI in another place. Let me just say, let me change this to attrition, attrition rates. Click on enter. And I change this, the tab color to green. And there's something I really want to bring in again. I'll copy this. Let me copy this. Control C, Control V. So I'll click on escape. Then I'll remove this. I'll remove this. So I want to bring in, I want to have my total number of workers here. Just my total number of workers. Okay, this is my total number of workers. So that I'll proceed forward to create another um, pivot table. I'll go to insert. I'll go to pivot table drop down. I'll go to from table stroke range. Then I'll click on the add this to model. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to later guess in my average um, salary salary. I'll change to average. Um, let me bring in my filter as I'm doing this. And bring in my filter, the attrition. I'm bringing the attrition to the filter. Then I'll change this to this showing for all. I'll select multiple items. Then I'll click on the plus sign, uncheck the no, and leave it as yes. So this one is giving me the average salary of people that have left, and then the age of people that have left. I'll put it here, the average age. So this one is showing me average of people that have left, showing that it's 42. Um, for the gender, no, we're looking for satisfaction performance rating. I'll drag it down here. I would click on this drop down here, change it to average. I'll click on OK. So it's saying this was what it's saying. It's saying that most of the like on the average, the cost the workers are actually doing well. Like on the average, they are doing well. They at least out of five, they are having like three. So let's go. Let's check the performance score, the average. Let's click on the drop down. Click on average and click on OK. So you have 2.9. You see, this 2.9 means that on the average, well, it is more than the normal. It is more than 2.5. Yeah, but it's actually still showing that it is more than 2.5. But people are not really satisfied with the work they are doing. It is more than that. There are really few. It's more than the 2.5, which is the average satisfaction rating. Let's go to the years of service. No, are we looking for the years of service? Let me go back to my. Let me go average performance rating, total number of workers, retention rate. I think we've done that. We've done this one. We've done this. 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 Yeah, and average age. We've done that too as well. So now, let's start. Let's change. Let me change this to KPI. KPI. Enter. Let me tap color. Let me change this to blue. So now we want to start um doing our chat. We want to start bringing in our chat. We want to start bringing in our charts that we're going to use for our dashboard. The first chart we're going to employ is we're going to use a pivot chart. Click on pivot chart. Make sure when bringing in charts, make sure you click on any point in your pivot table. When you click on this item will show. Sometimes it doesn't show. If it doesn't show, click on the pivot table stroke analyze, then click on the feed list. So it will bring out this table feed for you. Then you go to pivot charts. So when you click on pivot, I will want us to use this charts. Then we'll click on OK. Then we'll drag this like this. Then right click, we say hide all feed buttons. But let's leave it as this first. Then we'll go and do that when we get to dashboard. I actually press Ctrl Z to bring it back. So we want to go to the next one. attrition by gender. We want to use, we go to pivot table, analyze, we go to pivot charts, then we go to bar charts. We actually want to use another type of charts, then we click on this. You see come out like this, then we click on format. No, let's go to design. You say switch row stroke column. So this will bring it together. So we say we want the data labels to show. So this is the chart we're using for our um this is the chart we're going to use for our attrition by gender. So let's go to attrition by department. We click on any points in our pivot table. We go to pivot table analyze. Then we go to pivot chart. Um, we're still going to use this column. Click on OK. So operations take the lead, engineering the second, and financial and marketing with IT department the list. Then we go to attrition by years of service range. So I said I want to work on this expert. Let me go to Power Query. So for you to go back to Power Query, you need to go back to your data. You cannot go to Power Query when you are in any of your pivot table sheets. So we'll go to Query, we'll click on Edit. So years of service, you can see. So we just right click here, you say replace value. So anywhere you see this expert, anywhere you're going to do X parts, then we'll click on OK. So anywhere it says the expert, it change expert, it changes to experts. So we've done that. We click on close and load. So it's going to change here. It has already updated here. Then we'll go back to our pivot table. So now you notice that it has not changed here. If it has not changed, like updated here in your pivot table, you go to your data, go to this refresh all, you click on the drop down, you click on refresh all. So this is going to update what you've actually done on your Power Query. So now it has shown. Um, let's bring in our chart. I want us to stay use. Let's use a bar chart for this, like a bar chart. I'll click on pivot table analyze, and I'll click on pivot chart. So I'm using the bar chart for this. I'll click on bar chart, and I'll click on OK. So what is it saying? It's saying that experts are the people leaving the organization more. So we go to in this um, chart, we want to use a custom chart. We want to use the chart that has already not, like, how would I put it? We want to customize our chart, yeah. And that's gonna be like a donut chart. So we'll call out our value, say equals to A4. We click on enter. We drag this down. We drag this forward. Then we'll say equals to max. Click on tab. We select this. We close the bracket. We say shift and 8, and we say 1.25. Then we click on enter. So now we want to subtract this from this to get a value here. I would like to explain this. Let's just assume this 90 to be our targets. Like, let's say in the business environment, whereby okay, you have a target where you are trying to reach. Because the chart that we want to create is just going to be like um, a speedometer. In speedometer, it's just as if you're gauging towards a point. You understand? Let's assume this to be like our targets where we're trying to reach, which is 90. So for us to get the 90, we have to get the highest value from this range and multiply it by 1.25. So now we want to subtract our targets from these, our actual values. So it's going to be equals to this minus this. And let me say we're going to do our locking. We want to lock it whereby this our row. You want to lock it in the row aspect. You can press F4, F4. Yeah. So what is going to happen is that if I drag, if I do autofill, the G, because we're not moving towards the column axis, we are moving towards the row axis. So we are more concerned about the figure, which is 3. We are moving towards the down axis, which is the row axis. Remember, this 3 ought to change to 4. But because we don't want it to change to 4, we have to put it a dollar sign in front of it. You can actually put a dollar sign by yourself by pressing the shift, and you can actually put a dollar sign by actually pressing the shift and clicking on um, shift and 4 to bring out your dollar sign. But you can actually use F4 to call it in. It depends on the system you're using. So in our own case, we would actually leave it like this. So when we do autofill, it will help us autofill it with that, whereby this figure does not move, and it's minus this from this, from this, from this. If it's minus from this, it will give you your value here. This again minus from this, it will give you your value here. So now let's press enter. So it has given us this minus this. So I'll come here, I'll click here, and I'll drag down. So what have we done? We've actually minus this from this, because if I click on this, look at this, I'm getting G dollar 3. If I click on this G dollar 3, so what is going on here? The dollar sign is making the 3 not move. So it's telling the 3 don't change as we drag down our in the row contest. So that's that. So now we want to use this to draw and do a column, a spiral chart. So we select all this, then we'll go to insert, then we'll go to donut sign, then we'll choose donut, then we'll say switch row to this thing, then this is it. Then we right click here. We want to actually make it big. We do not size. We want to make it big and small. It's too much. Let's make it as 40. Think this is okay. Yeah. So we've done our spiral charts. So this is for the very bad. This is for the um, this is for the very bad, this is excellent. So when you over your mouse on it, it actually give you what is going on. And main reason we are using the chart is number one, though it's actually showing what is going on. Like from here, from this point, it's saying that it's portraying down to this point. But it's just for beautification, and at the same time, it makes your dashboard fine, and it gives you this flexibility whereby you can use other charts. You understand? To actually convey your insights or what is actually going on. So now let's move to the second one. We'll still do the same thing for these two as well. No, for this attrition by satisfaction rating, we do another spiral chart again. So say equals to A A4. Click on enter. We drag down, we drag forward. Then we say equals to max tab. Then we select this. Then we close our bracket. Um, we would say shift and 8, that is times 1.25. Then we say enter. Now I want to minus this from this 85 from all the values there. Then we'll get our answers here. Like I said before, equals to, we click on this, we say F4, F4, yeah, and say minus, then click on this, then click on enter, then click on this, then drag down, yeah. So I'll select all this and I'll say I want to, I'll go to insert. Mind you, remember, um, I'm not really going to, when I want to create this kind of a chart, I'm not going to the pivot table, analyze the like the way we've been doing. It's because we are not creating this chart from a pivot table. We called out the data. That's why we have to go through the inserts, and then we click on this point, then we click on donuts, then we go to switch row columns, and we go to um, go take your mouse to any point in the donut chart, the spiral chart, I mean, then right click on it, right click, sorry. This will give you, choose the format data series, then we change our donut size to 0 to 40. So we'll leave it at this. Um, so the next will be attrition by salary range. So in this our case, we are getting our chart from our pivot table, not we're not calling out the value. So we'll just go to pivot table analyze, then we'll go to click on pivot charts, then we click on we're gonna use this our um column charts. Let's use this. Okay, we actually know what is going on. So most people that are leaving the factory are people that are actually receiving um 70 to 90,000, while the least people are people receiving 10 to 120,000. Though, but these I can actually um um I can actually account that this might be probably because of the number of the size of our frequency. Because look at this, from 110 to 120 is just like 10 is the size, but from here this is 20, the size is 20 here, this is 20, this is 20, this is 20, and this is 10. So this can actually account for this for this having a low frequency. So so attrition by rate, this is no, these are KPIs. And so the next thing we're going to do is the creation of dashboard. So go ahead to create our dashboard.